When you picture extreme wealth, what pops into your head? Probably super yachts in Monaco, right? Or maybe skyscrapers in Dubai. Well, in Switzerland, they play a completely different game. It's a world built on privacy, on precision, and on a kind of luxury that, well, it doesn't need to shout to be heard. Let's get into it.
And look, this isn't just some catchy phrase. It's the entire philosophy, the foundation for a whole ecosystem. You see, in the world of Swiss luxury, from the hushed halls of those famous private banks to the silent peaks of the Alps, the real status symbol isn't what you own. It's how quietly you own it. And that idea, that one idea, shapes absolutely everything.
And this brings us right to the core paradox we're going to unpack. How can one tiny country be both a nerve center for high-speed global finance, a world of urban power and billions in constant motion, and at the same time be a sanctuary of timeless peace and natural seclusion? It just doesn't seem to add up, right? So let's break down these two opposing forces.
Okay, first, let's look at the engine room. We're talking about the cities of Geneva and Zurich. These aren't just Swiss hubs. They are global epicenters of wealth management, places where fortunes are guarded and grown with a precision that's been perfected for centuries.
And the scale of this thing is just staggering. A full quarter, 1/4 of all the private wealth that crosses a border for management ends up right here. Now why? It all comes down to a reputation built over hundreds of years on political neutrality, rock-solid stability, and of course, a legendary culture of discretion. This isn't just about a pile of money, it's a concentration of global financial trust that you literally cannot find anywhere else on the planet.
So where does all this power actually live? Well, it's concentrated on streets like Geneva's Rue du Rhône. Here you have the absolute titans of time, Patek Philippe, Rolex, Audemars Piguet, with their headquarters just steps away from these ancient private banks like Pictet and Lombard Odier, which has been managing old money since way back in the 18th century. It's finance and craftsmanship literally side by side.
And the value created here is just mind-blowing. We're not talking about your average luxury watch. A single, exclusive timepiece from one of these masters can fetch a price north of $5 million. At that point, it's less a device for telling time and more like a piece of kinetic sculpture, a bank vault you can wear on your wrist.
Okay, now let's shift gears completely. I want you to leave that frenetic energy of the city behind as we climb up into the calm, rarefied air of the Alps. This is the other half of the Swiss paradox, the sanctuary, where the world's elite go not to be seen, but to completely disappear.
You know, each of these elite resorts has its own distinct personality. St. Moritz, that's the glamorous birthplace of winter tourism. You see private jets lining up on the runway and the world's highest luxury shopping street. Then you have Gstaad, which has more of a secret billionaire vibe. It's home to Les Rosets, the most expensive boarding school on the entire planet. And then there's Zermatt, a whole other world of eco-conscious seclusion, all under the shadow of the Matterhorn.
And this is the alpine definition of luxury in action. In Zermatt, a car-free town, the height of status isn't some flashy supercar. No, it's a silent electric horse-drawn carriage taking you to your $50,000 a night glass-walled chalet. It's all about experiencing nature in the most exclusive, serene way imaginable. Here, privacy and peace, those are the real commodities.
So the big question is, how do these two worlds, the bustling financial center and the silent mountain retreat, actually connect? Well, they converge in a shared obsession. An obsession with perfection, with patience, and with heritage. The values of the mountains really do define the products sold in the cities. And nothing embodies this ethos more perfectly than the art of Swiss watchmaking. You know, this industry was almost wiped out in the 70s and 80s during the quartz crisis, when all these cheap, battery-powered movements from Asia flooded the market. But it roared back. How? By doubling down on what makes it unique. Unparalleled human craftsmanship. A master watchmaker can spend years assembling one single complex movement by hand. The result isn't just a product, it's a piece of kinetic art, an heirloom that embodies patience and precision.
And this dedication to craft doesn't stop at the wrist, it extends right to the dinner table. Switzerland boasts the highest density of Michelin-starred restaurants per capita in the entire world. And this incredible culinary scene is built on a direct connection to the Alps, with chefs sourcing these pristine ingredients from private, organic, high-altitude farms, literally bringing the purity of the mountains down to the plate.
But this world isn't some relic frozen in time. It's constantly evolving. So what does the future of this quiet luxury actually look like as we head towards 2026? The core values of privacy and quality, they're not going anywhere. But how they're expressed, well, that's changing.
The new status symbols are way less about objects and way more about experiences. The whole focus is shifting from buying things to buying access. We're talking about private dinners on a glacier, retreats you can only get to by helicopter, or completely personalized wellness programs. And this is crucial. Sustainability is the new frontier of exclusivity. Carbon-neutral lodges, electric private transfers, that's becoming the ultimate quiet flex.
Which leaves us with one final, and I think fascinating question. The entire Swiss luxury model is built on discretion, right? On whispering. But in our increasingly connected, transparent world where absolutely everything is shared, can that philosophy even survive? Can true wealth still afford to whisper, or will it eventually be forced to speak up? That's definitely something to think about.
If you appreciate the finer details of a life well lived, like this video if you found it insightful, subscribe to Curious Minds, and turn on the bell icon to never miss an upload. Until next time.